Hunting the Golden State Killer, Scared Face, uncover the darkest crimes, shocking mysteries, and real-life investigations. Welcome to Fame Files, Heart, where truth is more terrifying than fiction. Fame Files cover all the true crime stories of the whole world with you on this channel. Stay connected with us and keep watching daily true crime stories on Fame Files. Hunting the Golden State Killer, The Crimes of Joseph James DeAngelo, a true crime documentary introduction. For over 4 decades, a shadow lurked across California. A man so cunning, so elusive, that he terrorized entire communities, leaving behind a trail of violence and fear. He had many names: the Visalia Ransacker, the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker, but to the world, he would become known as the Golden State Killer. His real name: Joseph James DeAngelo. Star, early life of a killer. Born in 1945 in Bath, New York, Joseph DeAngelo grew up in a troubled household. Reports suggest he witnessed extreme violence at a young age, shaping the darkness that would later consume him. By the time he enlisted in the US Navy and later became a police officer, no one could have guessed that the man sworn to protect would become one of the most infamous serial predators in American history. Narrator: in the 1970s, DeAngelo worked as a police officer in California, patrolling the streets, investigating crimes, and upholding the law. But in the dead of night, he became something else entirely. The crimes begin: the Visalia Ransacker, 1973 to 1976. It all started in Visalia, a quiet town in California. Between 1973 and 1976, a mysterious intruder was breaking into homes, stealing small items, and creating chaos. He was known as the Visalia Ransacker. But in 1975, his crimes escalated when he shot and killed a father who tried to stop him. Authorities now believe this was DeAngelo's first known murder. But this was only the beginning. Star, the East Area Rapist. ERA, 1976 to 1979. In 1976, Sacramento County saw a new terror: the East Area Rapist. A predator who stalked his victims before striking, often targeting couples and single women in their own homes. He would cut phone lines, tie his victims up, and instill psychological torment before committing his assaults. Interview with a survivor or law enforcement officer. Survivor: he whispered through clenched teeth. He told us he'd kill us if we moved. We were frozen in fear. Narrator: by 1979, at least 50 women had fallen victim to the East Area Rapist. But just as suddenly as he appeared, he vanished. Star, the original Night Stalker, 1979 to 1986. In 1979, a new killer emerged in Southern California, earning the name the original Night Stalker. But authorities wouldn't connect him to the East Area Rapist for decades. His crimes were more violent now. He wasn't just attacking, he was killing. Narrator: over the next 7 years, DeAngelo brutally murdered at least 13 people. His victims were couples, families, anyone who stood in his way. He left behind fear, heartbreak, and a city on edge. And then, like a ghost, he disappeared again. Star, the investigation: decades of dead ends. For years, investigators chased down leads, but the Golden State Killer seemed to vanish without a trace. With no DNA databases at the time, they had little to work with. Narrator: cases grew cold. Families had no closure. But technology was about to change everything. Star, the DNA breakthrough and capture, 2018. In 2018, investigators used a revolutionary method: genetic genealogy. They uploaded the Golden State Killer's DNA into a public ancestry database. The results led them to an unsuspecting 72-year-old man living in a quiet Sacramento suburb. That man was Joseph James DeAngelo. Narrator: on April 24, 2018, the monster who had eluded justice for decades was finally in handcuffs. Sheriff, we found the needle in the haystack, and it was DeAngelo all along. Star: The Trial and Confession, 2020. In 2020, DeAngelo, now frail and weak, pleaded guilty to 13 murders and confessed to dozens of other crimes. His sentencing hearing was an emotional reckoning, as survivors and victims' families confronted him for the first time. Narrator: the man who once instilled terror sat silent, expressionless, and defeated. He was sentenced to multiple life terms without parole, ensuring he would die behind bars. Star: conclusion, the end of a reign of terror. Joseph James DeAngelo spent decades hiding in plain sight, a family man, a police officer, a killer. His crimes left permanent scars, but the strength of the survivors ensured his legacy would not be one of terror, but of justice. Narrator: the Golden State Killer is gone. But his victims, and their stories, will never be forgotten. If you found this documentary informative, please like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime investigations.